U.S. Marshal Service called me. They sent me a text message from Alabama. And they said, I heard you got a truck towed. I said, I did. I said, that's that guy from Alabama. He said, yes, it is. So he said, I got U.S. Marshals coming to you even as I speak.
All right, that was car wash manager James Stinson, the man who tipped police off, bringing an end to the nationwide manhunt for escaped murder suspect Casey White and his lover, Vicky White. She was the corrections officer who helped him escape. She's now dead. She committed suicide. The two had been on the run for 11 days across several states. NewsNation was first on the scene when they were found following the chase and capture. That man was Brian Enton. Joins us live in Evansville, Indiana, along with retired FBI agent Bobby Chacon. Gents, good to see both of you. Brian, take us through the laundry list of Keystone Cop moments here. It seems as though almost they were captured despite the best efforts of police.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a few of these moments throughout the manhunt. This one was certainly interesting. The manager of this car wash earlier in the week, way earlier in the week, last week, spotted a truck here at the car wash that he thought looked strange, and he called local police, and he says they didn't really take him seriously, so he went back and he looked at the surveillance video at his car wash, and that is when he says he noticed a man who looked a lot like Casey White, and the tattoos matched up basically perfectly. He had to keep calling and calling and calling again, and finally he got the attention of the local police, and the U.S. Marshals came out here eventually, and it turns out the manager of this car wash is really the reason this entire thing got solved.
Well, and on top of that, you reported on the fact that the original car that they were in, that had the bolo out for it and police were looking for it, was in an impound lot in Tennessee for a week before police figured it out. Bobby, is this really as bad police work as it seems to the layperson?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know the specifics of all of that. I do know that when a case gets this much publicity, thousands of tips come in, and the police are charged with running down every single one of those tips. I don't know if that was the case here, but certainly anywhere in that 3 or 4 or 5 state area where the escape took place should have been on high alert, and any tips coming in from anybody should have been run down immediately. I was always puzzled why I kept seeing Sheriff Singleton out front of this thing as coordinating the fugitive hunt, because it was his department where the escape happened. It should have been the marshals, and the marshals were out front, but the U.S. Marshals, I would have rather seen the U.S. Marshals take the lead, in front of the cameras and tell the American public what was happening. Ultimately, look, the marshals are the best in the world. The U.S. Marshals are tracking fugitives. I had confidence that they would get these guys, and they did.
Well, yeah, they only got him, though, because as Brian points out, he kept calling and saying, no, 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 I've looked at the surveillance video. If he had just called once and moved on, these guys would be who knows where. Brian, this brings up an important point about the sheriff. How is it that he gets on TV every night and talks about this when it was the woman in his jail that he said he knew and trusted for so many years that somehow was able to evade what should have been a whole series of checks and balances on her power, and he was the one who put that system in place that allowed this to happen in the first place?
Well, Leland, you have to remember, it's a small sheriff's office. They have just over 100 employees, and I think they have like 30 or 40 employees that work in the jail. So, it's a small little place. Sometimes protocols were broken. For example, the protocol said that there needed to be 2 corrections officers when any inmate was transported. But when we went to Florence and started talking to the sheriff and the DA, they said, well, look, sometimes if there weren't enough corrections officers, or if one correction officer had already left on a bus to take some folks to the courthouse and they needed to move someone else somewhere else, they'd have to sort of bend the rules. It's a small town mentality. I get the sense from the sheriff that they were really doing the best they could, and they really trusted Vicky White. Get this, Leland, we learned today that Vicky White was voted Corrections Officer of the Year by her peers in Lauderdale County for this year, and she was set to receive the reward just next week.
You almost couldn't make it up, Bobby. Incompetence on the rest of the department and complacency for giving her so much credit, or conspiracy that maybe there were a couple more people in on this, or at least turning a blind eye to it?
Well, no, Leland, I think you hit it right on the head. The word I was thinking of was complacency, the word you just used. And I think that that's it. And I abhor complacency because in situations like this, even in a small jail, there is no excuse for that kind of complacency. If the rules are in place, they have to be enforced. Not only that, real leadership would allow the newest deputy in that police department to put a stop on the highest ranking level official doing something that violates policy. So leadership has to empower the people there to say, you know what, boss? This is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be transporting this person by yourself. It's against the policies. The more lax you let them go, the longer that complacency is in place, the more chance something like this is going to happen.
Yeah, and look, Brian makes a good point. Small town sheriff's office is not probably the place that you find the best standards and practices in terms of how things are done. Brian, to you, does this story effectively end now?
Look, I mean, the manhunt is certainly over. Are there still a lot of questions? Yes. Would we like to find out all the little stops they made along the way? They were in 3 different vehicles that we know of. Were they stolen? Did they buy them off Craigslist? Where have they been sleeping? Oh, and there's this. The sheriff from Alabama tonight has said he is even questioning whether Vicky died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He says it is possible that that is not the case. He's waiting for forensics. He says there's no evidence at this point that she was shot by Casey, but he's leaving that open-ended. So there are definitely still things that we want to figure out.
You know, Bobby, I put that map back up in terms of where they went. In 11 or 12 days, they're on the run. For at least 7 or 8 days, there was really no trail. They had the authority, police, and the Marshal Service had no idea where they were. Why only go 2.5 states? I'm thinking you'd be in Mexico or you'd be in El Salvador or, I don't know, a beach in Costa Rica by now.
Yeah, Leland, my theory was they were heading for Canada because Canada will not extradite on a capital case. So he was facing possible death penalty here in the States for the most recent case. Canada would not extradite him unless the U.S. promised not to seek the death penalty in any of his cases. So that's where I assumed they were headed. Now, they probably laid low for a couple of days and felt they had to poke their heads up, but you know, there's some investigation to be done. You want to make sure that nobody assisted them in this escape. You want to make sure that what happened today was actually a suicide. So all of those things will be looked at fairly quickly, I might add. And then we have to see what additional charges Casey's going to face with this. And I saw an excellent piece by Ashley Banfield earlier that says he could face felony murder charges if you're committing a felony, which this escape was, that can reasonably result in someone else's death, and that death occurs, you can be charged with that felony murder. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see if there are additional charges.
On the other hand, he's already charged with capital murder, so at some point it may be academic. Brian, Bobby, thank you both. Brian, great work as always. Incredible job hunting this down and really leading the country in the reporting on this. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Leland.
All right, take care, gents.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.